Okay, so let's try a couple of more examples of how to determine the linear equation forms from 2 points. So let's go with the problem number 2. Let's say we have the coordinates -3, 2, that's the first point, and the second point is 6 minus 1. So what do we need to do is understand, well, this is x, this is y, this is x, and this is y. Those who need it can write down that x1 equals -3, x2 equals 6, and then we need, of course, the y. The y1 is the y value of the first point, and the y2 is the second value, well, the y value of the second point, which is -1. When we have this table done, we need to calculate the slope. So the next step is determining the slope, which we use the change in the y value or the function value over the change of the x value. We write down the equation, which I highly recommend, and we plug in our numbers. So continuing in red, we have -1, -2, so it's going to be a negative slope. And the x, we have 6 minus -3. Really careful here, please, that recognize that we have two minus signs. Two minus signs. Please do it carefully because we have -3 and also the minus from here, which we get 2. Now, what does this mean? This means that it becomes positive because, well, minus is the same thing as positive. So we get -3 on the top and a total of 9 on the bottom. Now, please don't be discouraged to divide by 3, and it's 1/3. Okay, so I'll just make a box right here. So what do we do now? Now well, let's write down again the equation of the form. So the first form, the point slope form, is written as y equals m times x plus b. Well, luckily for us, we already know what is m, and we have to determine the b number. To determine the b, I select the second point this time, and so I'm plugging in the rule that if I plug in the number, if I plug in the number 6, the result has to be -1. That's the second point. So let's plug in 6. We have m, which is -1/3, multiplied by our x value, which I'm plugging in as 6, plus our unknown b, which I can draw in a green. And this has to equal -1. Now this looks a bit difficult. But it's nothing different than, well, this is 6 divided by 3. Yeah, this is the same thing as 6 divided by 3 plus b. 6 divided by 3 equals -1, and this is the same equation as -2 plus our unknown b, which has to equal -1. Now, how do we determine b? Well, I will move this -1 to the opposite side of the equation. So when it's a negative on one side, it will be a positive. Or in other words, from both sides, I add +2. So the final value of b we have is -1 plus 2, which is a result of 1. So it's simply 1. So the final value, the final equation, the final point slope form is 1 over x plus 1. How do we get the other form? So how do we get the slope intercept form? And I think I or did I not confuse those two? Standard intercept, the slope intercept, yes, so I exchanged it. So the first one is called the slope intercept form and the second one. So please reverse this notation. So it's the other way around. Now the other notation we have is that we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Important factor is that this and this are our variables. Please do not substitute numbers. These are variables. And simply these numbers are where we started to draw where the function is defined. So this is our first point or our coordinates. So when we plug it in, we get the number. Well, what is our y1? Our y1, we have minus 1, so it's minus 1 equals minus 1 over 3. So it can get a little technical, but it's not difficult when you're careful. And we have minus 3. So we have 2 times minus here, which the result is plus 1, and here where the result is plus 3. So the final equation is y plus 1 equals 1 over 3 x plus 3. And that's the result of for this kind of problem.